Hello and welcome back to the Beautiful Things channel. This is an extra special things I made in June video. Because I made so much in June, I decided to break it down. So by now you would have already seen a whole heap of different garments, but what I want to share with you now are 3 garments that are all exactly the same but different. And that is my Kielo wrap dresses. Oh my goodness, I love this pattern. I honestly couldn't see what all the fuss was about. When I saw them online and I saw them on Instagram and I saw them all over the place, they just looked like a bit of a muchness dress. Nothing really excited me. I didn't realise, if I'm honest, that they were jersey dresses. I thought they were just cottons and drapey fabrics and that they would crease and be a complete pain in the bottom to wear and wash. But that all changed when the lovely Madison, one of my fantastic teachers, came into the studio a few weeks ago wearing a gorgeous knee-length dress. When I asked her what it was and she told me it was the Kielo wrap dress, absolutely blew me away. And I instantly knew that that is what I wanted to make with this elusive fabric that I'd picked up at the Birmingham Rag Market. Thank you all for your suggestions of gorgeous maxi dresses that I could make, but I think you will agree that this is a knockout frock. You right down there? I have a small child at my feet, and that's a train. So I only had 2 meters of this fabric and the Kielo dress takes just over 3 and a bit, but because Maddie had made a short version, I knew that it was possible. So I simply stopped the pattern where the kick split is up the back, and that was where I cut it to. I played quite a bit of fabric Jenga to get it out because it is an incredibly wide pattern piece, but I managed it. I made a couple of changes as well to the armholes and the neckline. Now, both the armholes and the neckline are supposed to be bound with either jersey binding, or you can make your own jersey binding from the fabric. All I did though was just turn under my neckline and stitch it down. And that is because I am now the proud owner of a cover stitch machine. Oh, the new love of my life. So I simply turned this under and cover stitched it so it looks really neat. With the armholes, I measured the circumference, I reduced it down to 90%, and I made a very narrow 1.5 inch band, which I then attached to the armhole. So that what that's done is that's actually widened the shoulder straps ever so slightly, which I personally quite like. So you can see the band just running here. This version that I made was the size 14, and then I went on to make 2 size 12s, and the only reason that I did that was because the second one that I'm going to show you, I had an even smaller amount of fabric than I did this, and it was the only way that I could squeeze the pattern piece onto the fabric by snipping off about, I don't know, 1/2 inch either side of the pattern piece. So let me give you a 12. I love this dress. I'm going to stand up so I can show you my waist in it. As you can see, it is incredibly flattering. All of this tie and the wrap bit here just covers up all of that area that I really don't like, my mummy tummy. Now I choose to wrap my dress completely, so I'll show you how I do it. So there's my Kielo all undone. Looks a bit like a muumuu. I cross one side over and then the other side over, take the ties behind my back, bring them round the front and tie them into a bow. I sound like an air hostess. But you can just bring them to the front and tie them in a big bow. Whoop. For a more relaxed look. Not quite so flattering, but on a hot day, comfy, just for knocking around. So this was my first Kielo that I made. I came home, I put it on, I came downstairs in my killer heels, More about those in another video. And my husband, Izzy, can you stop calling along the floor because you're making crawling noises? It sounds like mummy's parping while she's talking. Stop. So as I was saying, my husband basically looked at me and said, "Ooh, hello, Mrs. Mag, you're looking rather nice tonight. That dress is gorgeous. Where did you get it from?" And what did I say? I made it. And he was actually surprised. And do you know what? When I put it on a minute ago to film this video, Izzy was also surprised that I made it, because it does look like something you would possibly buy on the high street. And I love it for that. So obviously, because he was really pleased, he took me out for dinner that evening. I wore my dress out and about, got lots of compliments, and everybody who saw it was very, very surprised that I made it. So that made me love it even more. So I went on to make another two. A plain black one, which I'm going to show you now. Here's my twirl. And then another short version, and this time this is some lovely fabric that I had left over that I've had in my stash for about 3 years. I think I bought it the very first time I went to Walthamstow Market, but as you'll see in my twirl here, it's a gorgeous green and hot pink kind of tropical hibiscus print. Is it hibiscus? I don't know. But anyway, really nice. Another great one for holiday. An absolute go-to frock. I love the Kielo wrap dress, and it is so super, super, super easy to make. So if you haven't made one yet, or you're undecided and sitting on the fence, order that pattern and do it now. Oh, one more thing. I did buy the PDF version. I printed it out because I was in such a rush to make it. Tried really hard to stick it together and I could not get it to tile properly. It didn't matter how hard I tried, so I got really, really cross with it. Threw it away, and I then sent my Kielo wrap dress to Net Printer, who printed it off for me, and I now have a lovely big A0 copy. So I would highly recommend either buy the paper pattern and trace it off so that you've got all the different sizes for another day, or get a Net Printer or someone similar to print it for you. It does come up pretty true to fit. I am a 12 in the high street. I've got a fairly decent bust on me, a little bit of a mummy tummy, and as I say, I've made the 14 out of this one, but there is quite a bit of room in it, as you can see, but it's comfortable and it's thin, which is great for something to wear in this blooming heat. But then I made the 12 for my black one and my green and purple one, so it comes up pretty true to fit, so I wouldn't worry necessarily making a muslin or a toile. And that is really all I've got to say. Great pattern, instructions were really clear, easy to follow. Yes, I made a few tweaks, but that's just because I can. You don't have to. Go make Kielo dresses, and please share your pictures and images with me because I'd love to see your versions.